Welcome back to another episode of the Rewind Rewatch podcast. What's so funny?
Your face.
Oh, thanks.
Who are you?
My name is Joel.
And I'm Andrene.
Oh, great. And we're siblings. And we have been, for the past, year?
It's been over a year. It's been over a year now.
Rewatching 90s movies for your audio enjoyment.
Yeah.
We will discuss the movie, talk about what we liked, what we maybe didn't like so much, what we thought about the characters, about the storyline, and we will talk about what did or did not age well over the past 30 years, as well as providing themes for the film and our rewind rating from 1 to 5 based on how likely we are to rewatch this movie again.
Yep.
And we're revisiting Jim Carrey today.
We are. We can't seem to stay away from him. Like, he's just...
And
it's the 90s,
This is number 2 or number 3? I know we did Liar Liar.
This is the second one, I believe.
Okay, so this is our second.
This is the second one.
Our second behind Liar Liar. Jim Carrey in 1998's The Truman Show.
Mm-hmm. This is a PG rating, and it's supposed to be a comedy / sci-fi film. 1 hour and 43-minute runtime.
That's interesting because I would not categorize this movie as sci-fi.
Same.
Like, and it's barely a comedy. I mean, there's definitely comedic moments, but I feel like most movies have comedic moments, unless
you
it's
call it like a drama, maybe?
Yeah, maybe even suspense. I don't know if suspense might be a little bit too dramatic, but yeah, I feel like this is a drama / comedy.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Well, I guess before we get further into what happens, you can
talk about who requested it.
Yes.
That's not what you were going to say.
That's not what I was going to say, but yes, we also have to do that.
This was requested by Ruby Rube, a.k.a. Rubik's Cube. It's a long name.
Right.
That we gave him.
Yeah, that we gave. Right.
And Chris. So shout out to both of y'all.
Shout outs to Rubik's Cube and to Chris. Truman Show.
Do you want to tell them what we're doing today? It's a little bit different.
So Andrene had the genius idea of having the movie play in the background while we're recording the movie, which I don't know how this is going to go because I feel like I'm going to get distracted by looking at the screen and then I'm going to like blurt out, oh, I forgot about that part, which is like not really the way that we typically do things, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll be able to keep it together. I'm not betting on us. I'll just put it that way.
Oh, unfortunately. All right, so 1 sentence summary, right?
Yes.
How would I describe the Truman Show?
And this was my pick, so that means you do the summary this week.
Yes, I understand. A man gradually realizes that his entire life is being recorded and is essentially fake.
Okay. Yeah.
It takes a while for him to get there, but he does eventually get there.
So, yes. All right. So let's talk about this word that you used.
Fake?
Yes. Because this entire television show, basically, he's been recorded since the day he was born. Mm-hmm. We later find out that the studio company that puts together the show actually bought his rights. Like, he was basically adopted by the studio company.
Yeah.
So he is basically grown up. Every day of his life, every hour of his life, every waking moment has been televised and broadcast around the world, 24/7 camera, and he lives in this town that's basically been created. Every person in his life is basically acting and playing a part, and it's unbeknownst to him until the events in the film, which it says when the movie starts, it's day 10,909, which of course I had to put in my calculator and say, how old is this? So he's 29 going on 30.
I am 29 going on 30.
Yes, exactly. So let's call him 30 years old.
Okay.
So 30 years of his life, he's been living this life that has basically been a lie. Yes. And the mastermind behind this television show / whatever you want to call this sick thing, is a producer who simply goes by the name Christoph, who's played by Ed Harris.
Yes.
And according to Christoph, his life is not fake. It's been produced, but because he doesn't know that it's produced, actually everything that you're seeing is real because all his feelings are real, his emotions are real. So what are your thoughts on
Christoph?
this? Well, we'll get to Christoph in a second, but this concept, like, is this fake or is it just manipulated?
So yes, on some level, it is real in the sense that, like he said, Truman doesn't know that the people surrounding him are actors. His wife is an actor. His best friend,
Who he's known his entire life.
I mean, which is insane. They have pictures from back when they were like 8 years old. So you'd think this person's been acting since the age of 8, basically, to be this man's friend.
Yeah, he's a child actor who's now, he's
I mean, it's steady work.
He's Kieran Culkin.
It's steady work, I suppose.
It's very steady work.
So Christoph tries to explain that people, viewers in general, are tired of actors who give us these phony emotions, he calls them. And he's tired of production putting on special effects, but that there's nothing fake about Truman. But what's doesn't really make sense about that is to keep up this Truman Show, there are a ton of special effects. The moon that they have on the show, bro, is the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, the moon is the control tower. That's where the producer exists, and everyone who's managing this show is basically on this big structure up in this fake sky.
But it looks as if the full moon is out every single night, which is not how the moon works. And they create lightning, they create thunderstorms, they create wind and waves and the sun. So to say that people are tired of phony emotions and special effects, and then you create a show with special effects, it's like you're basically doing the same thing.
Yeah, yes, and
are you in acting class? That's what they always tell you. They always tell you, yes, you're in the scene.
Right, yeah.
It's yes and always commit.
It is very improv class. But no, I mean, I feel like yes, I think in general Christoph is definitely a hypocrite. So like we'll start there. And like by no means am I defending Christoph, but I don't think when I think about like special effects in a film, I guess I don't think of it as like lighting, which I guess is technically a special effect.
It is.
I think of like, like a Star Wars movie or something like that, where it's like, oh, like these are special effects.
Joel, they're creating a sun.
Yeah.
He says, let the sun rise now.
That's
like,
true.
Come on. Those are special effects.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, Christoph, the mastermind behind this, I have a lot to say about him, but I'm gonna let you start. What are your thoughts about this man?
When I think about Christoph and how, like, yes, you have a baby who they said was unwanted, so they adopted the child. So it's not like there's a mother out there that's suffering who's missing her child. Okay, fine.
He has no family in the real world, so.
But I keep thinking this entire time he is trapped on this island. So there's this fake city that they create. The name of the city is Sea Haven Island in Florida. And Truman is trapped here. He really can't go anywhere else. But he has this yearning to travel and to see the world. And to me, it's the idea that you have this person where you control every aspect of their life. So yes, you're saying he has choices, but does he really? Because throughout the show, they are constantly having these product placements, which are ridiculous, where it's like, even down to like the lawnmower that he's using, the cereal that he eats, the cocoa,
hot cocoa, yeah.
The cocoa that he drinks, the beer that his best friend is constantly shoving down his throat.
That is a beer.
It's all like product placement. So we're getting sponsors. We have to use these items. So do you really have a choice when things are being provided for you? Like, he can't decide he wants to go out and get something else because his wife is going to ensure, or his best friend's going to ensure that he's following along with these specific parameters. So even the job that he has, I'm sure, was laid out for him. They did something in a way to get him into this job, because even the way he gets the wife is planned. So it's like, how can you possibly say that this guy has all these choices in his life when he's basically just being guided? It's like being a rat in a maze. Okay, yes, I'm choosing to go left because I can't possibly go right. So am I really choosing that?
Right, and that's also where you put the cheese. So
right, it's
I'm
like
just following the cheese. I'm not actually making choices.
It's
and we see that because every time he does try to make a choice, the show basically steers him away from whatever they've decided. Because we see, he talked about his desire to travel, and we see from the time that he's young, he says something about, like, in school, he's like, oh, like, I want to be like Magellan or something. Mm-hmm. And then his teacher's like, well, Magellan already discovered all this stuff, so there's nothing left for you to discover. Don't worry about it. And then, like, there's a time where he goes to, like, the travel agency, and all the posters on the wall are basically like, hey, think about it again. If you travel, like, basically you might die. Don't get on a plane. And then, like, which I thought was the craziest part, is they basically create this whole death scene.
Oh, man.
They kill his father while he's a child.
Yeah.
While they're, like, it's like a fishing accident or something. It's a boating accident where his father basically goes overboard and drowns. Mm-hmm. And this is all done in an attempt to dissuade him from ever wanting to sail so that he doesn't try to escape Sea Haven.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, you killed his pops, who's not actually even his pops, but now you've created this childhood trauma. Number one, to create drama for your show, but number two, to make sure that he's scared of traveling. And throughout the course of this movie, we see him talk about wanting to leave, wanting to go somewhere. His wife's like, this is crazy. Stop acting like a child. His best friend keeps talking about how great it is to live here and how they live in the best place on earth, and there's nowhere that they would want to go. So it's like everything about the decisions and that's even before we talk about Sylvia.
Girl? Yeah.
Which is like a whole nother thing, right?
Yeah.
So the one thing I did want to say, though, about Christoph, I feel like Christoph had this weird relationship with Truman that I wanted to talk a little bit more about.
Okay.
Because I feel like on the one hand, Truman is kind of like his lab rat, right? Like, he's kind of just like, I'm going to create this amazing television show and I'm going to use him as my object, basically. But there are moments throughout the film, like, there's one part where, like, Truman goes to bed at night and everybody's leaving and he's in the control room just, like, watching him sleep.
Yeah.
And he's, like, touching the screen all, like, sentimentally. So it's like he has this weird emotional attachment to Truman, but he's controlling every aspect of Truman's life. And then at the end, when Truman actually wants to leave, he comes fairly close to killing him.
Yes.
So I'm like, what exactly is going on here? Does he actually love Truman? What is the emotional connection he feels to Truman? Because on the one hand, he treats him like an object, but on the other hand, it feels like he has some sort of sentimentality. So I was wondering, like, what was your take on that?
So, what's funny? As I was watching this, I kind of had a very dark thought. It was giving me, if I can't have you, no one else can kind of vibes.
Okay.
Because when Truman is there and he's content in his life and he's, like, doing funny faces in his bathroom mirror and he's just going about his day, Christoph is happy because he's getting the viewers and he's able to, like you said, control Truman's day to day. But then the more Truman starts to become curious and, like, I don't really know what's happening here, and he ends up at the end, trying to escape, once Christoph realizes that Truman no longer wants to be here, and Truman knows what's going on, because he even calls out to him. He's like, when the storm starts happening on the boat, Truman's like, "Is that the best you can do?" And Christoph is like, "More wind." At that point, he gets like completely furious, and he's like, "More wind." And they're like, "Bro, we're gonna tip the boat over," and he's like, "I don't care, tip it over." And the guy's like, "I don't want to do this."
Right.
And he reaches over and like puts it like at max wind.
The TV executive is telling him to stop, and he's like, "No, I'm not gonna stop."
Capsize him, tip him over. Damn you, Christoph!
No, you can't. His tide is up to the boat.
Shut up!
He's gonna drown. He doesn't even care.
Do it! Do it!
He's like,
which is crazy.
And he's like, "You're gonna kill him on air," and he's like, "I mean, he died on air. I mean, so he was born on air, so he can die on air." And it's like, so to me,
but then he doesn't do it. Like, he could have killed him, but then at some point he's like, "That's enough." And then then the sun comes back up.
Truman was under the water at that point. Remember, he had tied himself to the boat to stay tethered. The boat flips over, so he's now basically drowning, and he ends up like, at some point getting back up. And it kind of got to this dark place where it was like, is he just kind of being like, well, now Truman wants to leave me and I won't let him? So I was like, what exactly is your motivation here, sir? And then by the end, I guess he decided like, okay, maybe I shouldn't murder this man on live television.
Right. Yeah.
maybe it's better if I don't do that. But yeah, I was not a fan of Christoph at all. I really was not feeding into whatever it is he was trying to
No.
He was trying to, I wasn't buying it.
I mean, yeah, and I think he is meant to be the villain of this story. So, I mean, they do a pretty good job of painting him as like this heartless creep. Also interesting to me that, number one, his name is Christoph. He doesn't even have a last name. But when they talk about him, like there's a part of the movie where he's being interviewed on like this news program. Mm-hmm. And they talk about the fact that he is finally letting us into his thoughts because he's notoriously private, which I thought was ironic at the very least, of like, you've basically created this program where you're exposing every aspect of this man's fake life. And the fact that you are so private means that you know that this is wrong.
Right.
Like, because you want the exact opposite of that for yourself, but you have no problem exposing this other person. The other thing that I think is interesting about just this concept in general is that, like, this is obviously a pretty sick concept, but like 100% would be like a hit show.
I have so many thoughts. I'm going to wait until the end because I have so many facts about this movie. It's like unreal.
Okay.
So I don't want to do it yet because I'm going to get off the rails.
Can we talk about Meryl, his wife?
Oh, God. So the first thing that jumped out at me...
And she's played by the wife from Ozark, right?
Correct. Her name is Laura Linney.
Laura Linney, right.
Yeah, she's been in a ton of stuff, but yeah, she was also in Ozark. And
I didn't like her in that movie, and I definitely didn't like her in this movie either, or that TV show.
You didn't like her in Ozark?
No, I hated her in Ozark. She was awful. This woman bothered me to no end in Truman Show.
So her entire outfit, her look, I kept looking at her and I'm like, what year is this? Because
I couldn't figure out what year it was in Seaport and Sea Haven.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I feel like, okay, we came out in 98, we know that, but it didn't feel as though the cars were very old, but her outfits were like 1940s. So I was like,
even when they show the scene
outfit
of them in college and they go to like a dance and they're listening to like 50s rock music. So I'm like, okay, so is this supposed to be like the 70s? Like I didn't understand what was going on.
Right. Which is why I felt confused, because I felt like the years in college felt like later than the current years, if that makes sense. Like you said, listening to 50s rock in college, but she's wearing 1940s nurse outfit.
yeah.
That's why I was like, wait, how did...
That's true.
That's why I was confused.
That's true.
I was like, what year? So that already bothered me. And then the way she styled her hair was very old school. And then it's like, you can tell she works for the show. And they had these little like mini interviews with them where they would talk about the show. And it was like she really bought into Christoph's vision that this was remarkable and this was real. And we're showing, Truman in his, most simple and real form and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so you don't mind pretending to be this man's husband? And also, this is like a full-time with overtime job because you're sleeping there. Like, you don't go home.
Not to mention,
Having sex with
she's
him.
actively trying to get pregnant.
Yeah.
So
That's not great.
how does that work?
Yeah.
Because then it's like, does the baby then become the next Truman?
Yes. That's what I think they wanted. That's why, because even after eventually Meryl ends up leaving because she doesn't feel safe staying with Truman because Truman...
Because he starts to figure things out
right,
and then he threatens
her with a knife.
Yeah.
When that happens...
Well, she pulled a knife on him.
She did.
Fair. But
she
anyway.
Did. But when that happens and she leaves, Kristoff makes a note like, oh, we're going to bring in a new love interest. So, like, they're still trying to be like, well, he's going to end up getting with someone else. And there's a new woman in his office who's an attractive female, and she's, like, flirting with him. And we already know they're going to, like, get her to start
try to get her knocked up.
Yeah. And so... Which
I guess is what she signed up for anyway.
That was definitely part of the show. Is like, oh, I'm gonna have Truman's baby, and I'm going to be lit. So, yeah, it was going to continue. It was never going to end. Which is sick. Because, like, think about being an actor where it's like, this is literally your entire life. Even the best friend. In the middle of the night, they call him like, oh, go over to the house and check on him. It's like 2:00 in the morning.
Yo, he always comes through with a 6-pack. Like, come on, bro.
Product placement.
Yo, he comes through with the 6-pack every time they hang out, but he's the only one drinking the beer. I'm like, yo, does Truman even drink beer?
And even the way that he drinks the beer, like, he turns the beer can to the camera.
Oh, man, this beer is great. It's like, all right, man.
So talking about the product placement really fast, the scene where he's at home, Truman's at home, this is before Meryl ends up leaving him, and they're in the house. They're having, like, a regular conversation, and he's telling her, like, he feels weird. He thinks people are following him. And she basically is like, oh, let me make this Mococo drink from the best cocoa beans in Mount Nicaragua. And he looks at her and he's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Why are you bringing that up right now?
When I tell you, I literally laughed out loud because it was so funny. Because it's like, bro, what exactly are you doing here?
This woman is a walking product placement
yes.
because she's doing it at like literally at every point that she's on camera. And she reminds me of the movie Pleasantville.
Yes.
Like she's like very like put together in a way that feels very inauthentic, which is, I think, ironic and potentially maybe something that they were trying to say about like Hollywood actors, maybe. But like her idea of what she's doing in the show is like, this is the highest form of acting, right? Because it's so authentic and it's so real and it's so method and all this stuff. But actually, this person who's the most invested in what's happening comes off the fakest.
Yes.
So like, what am I supposed to read into that? Because when you're watching everybody else, whether it's his boss, his best friend, the guy who he buys his newspaper from in the morning, like everybody else feels kind of real.
Yeah, absolutely.
His mother even. But when you meet his wife, you're like, this doesn't even feel like a real person. And she's supposed to be the one that's like the most bought in. So then it's like, is she just a bad actress? Like, I don't really understand. And also, yeah, I don't know. It also felt like there's at one point where their relationship is starting to splinter where he basically says to her, like, I feel like you don't even like me.
Yeah.
Why do you want to have a kid with me so bad? Like, I feel like you actually kind of hate me because every time I say something, you get annoyed. And I'm thinking, why do you like her? Because I feel like the show just like placed her in his life. Yeah. And he just kind of like went along with it. And was like, all right, well, this girl's here. She's attractive. She likes me, whatever. And next thing you know, they're married. But then it's like, I didn't really get a sense from him that he was super into her.
Yeah.
So then it was also like, well, you answer the question, bro.
I mean, she was there. She was available. And the girl that he really wanted moved to Fiji.
Was whisked away, yeah. And
that scene was really crazy.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Lauren / Sylvia.
Okay, so the first time we see Lauren, he actually meets her in undergrad. He's at I don't know. It looks like it's some kind of like before a pep rally or a game or something, and he's kind of hanging out with his best friend, and he's stealing glances with this character. She's sitting by a tree and she's smiling at him all coyly, and there's definitely an attraction there. But as he's looking at her, this is where Meryl comes in and like falls over him, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so clumsy," and does the whole stupid blonde, girl thing, and throws herself at him, and she's just so in his face that they end up dating. But throughout, as time passes, you see that like they'll go to dances, they'll go to different events, and he'll see the other girl there, and they'll try to like steal a glance. And eventually he goes up to her, he asks her out, and she says, "I know I can't." And he's like, "Why? You're not attracted to me?" And she's like, "No, that's not it. I just can't do it." And she's acting very secretive. And we know watching the show is because the producers have not signed off on them being together.
She's just supposed to be an extra.
Yeah, he's supposed to be with Meryl. And so she's trying to tell him, like, okay, if we're going to hang out, we got to go now. And this scene was fun. They like run through the library, they run outside, they're like
trying to evade the cameras.
Which, again, there's 5,000 cameras on this island, which to me didn't seem like that many. Because if you think about it, like they had cameras everywhere he went. He went to the hospital, he went here, and I'm like, did every actor just have a camera? Like
they had cameras on there. Yeah, they had pin cam. They had
to.
like lapel pins, and they all had cameras.
I was like, there's no way you can.
At least the main characters did
all the time. And so he ends up they end up running to the beach together, and they steal a kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very nice and romantic. And the next thing you know, a car comes out of nowhere and drives onto the beach.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I'm her father." And she's like, "I never seen this man before in my life. This is not my dad." And he's like, "Oh, yeah." She's like, basically, she's crazy is what he tries to insinuate.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like,
"Oh, she does this to all her boyfriends. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry about it." And he's like, "Wait, what?" And the last thing he says is, "We're moving to Fiji." So in Truman's mind, he thinks Lauren and her dad moved to Fiji. I have to get to Fiji to see Lauren again. And she's the one that got away. He has feelings for her.
Classic it girl.
And what I liked about her character was we get a chance to see her after she's been removed from the show. And she's in the real world now. And we see her watching Truman on television. And you could tell that like she feels very empathetic towards him. She hates the fact that he's there. And what I liked about the scene was like behind her on her wall, they had posters. And it was like Free Truman rally on this date.
Yep.
And I'm like thinking like that's what would happen.
100%.
People would be out marching. There'd be hashtag Free Truman. Like there absolutely would be like a coalition.
Yeah.
To get Truman up out of the studio.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Like it's immoral commercialism. Mm-hmm. And so like that, there's hundreds of examples of versions of this, maybe not necessarily in this format, but like immoral commercialism is like the most Americana thing you could think of. And there's usually people with morals who are like, hey, this is not a good thing.
Right.
I thought this entire production, I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm thinking about, but first of all these actors, right? I'm wondering about them existing outside of the show. Uh-huh. So like, do they just like plan vacations and then go away? Can they have lives and families outside the show? Because they kind of have to be there at least for most of the day, every day. So I guess, I was wondering like, how would this work in practice, Like when his wife goes to work, is she just like leaving set? You know what I mean?
Yeah, she probably is. She's probably going out, yeah.
And then it's like, oh, all right, I'm off work when I go to quote unquote work, and then I have to come back and like basically act. And there's a part where he like follows her to her job, and I'm assuming they tell her like, hey, you have to be at the hospital because he's actually following you. Mm-hmm. So she goes and like has to pretend to put on this surgery, but obviously she's not an actual surgeon.
Nurse.
Right, a nurse. She doesn't know anything about medicine.
None of them do.
At one point, he tries to take a bus. The bus driver is like, I don't know how to drive this thing. I'm an actor. So like nobody actually knows how to do, which also I feel like They probably could have done a better job of this.
Yeah, the casting was kind of bad.
Which brings me to my other point, which is I feel like the only reason why this all falls apart is because they started to get sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like if they were doing this with fidelity and, like, keeping everything as clean as possible, he probably would have never figured it out.
So, to your point, I have a whole, like, section called Production Messes Up in my notes.
Yes.
Where I wrote down, like, the different instances where production did things where I was like...
And we're seeing it on screen right now when this elevator opens.
Yes, that's one scene that stands out in my mind.
And he's like, what the hell is that? So I think that's the thing. It's like, it's almost 30 years that he's been in this world. And he's just now starting to question things where he's like, wait, what's going on? Obviously, he had certain questions about Sylvia, but as far as he's concerned, she's the one that got away and now she's living in another country. It wasn't until things started glitching that he's like, wait a second, something's wrong here.
Well, so the first sign we see is very early on in the film, and that's when one of these lights fall, like, from the sky, basically, in front of him. And he's like, what is this? And the radio station in his car is really funny. It's only one channel, and the newscaster or DJ basically just gives information for Truman. And so he's like, oh, there was a plane that crashed overhead, and, you know, if you see anything falling from the sky...
Debris from the plane crash, right.
To explain what's going on. But I think the moment where he really starts to question is when he sees his father. Because his dad's supposed to be dead, and he's walking down the street, and this seemingly unhoused person is walking around, but it's his dad. And he's like, wait, is that my pops? And he's looking, trying to find him. Next thing you know, these people from nowhere, like, rough his dad up.
They whisk
him away into a bus and, like, drive him away.
He's like, wait, that's my dad. And these are the same, Matrix, Men in Black type of characters that whisk Lauren away when he's making eyes with her at the dance. Because they want him to fall in love with Meryl. And he's like, all right, this girl's here, whatever, I'm dancing with her, but I really want to talk to Lauren. Like, she's the baddie. And he keeps looking at her, and he, like, wants to go talk to her. And then production comes, and they basically, like, start whispering in her ear and tell her, like, yo, you got to leave.
Right.
So anytime he's about to basically go off script, they just carry these people out. Which, again, is another production glitch, because if you killed off his dad... How does this man sneak back into this dome contraption that you've created? Like, you've created a huge fake city in the middle of the Hollywood Hills. Everybody who gets on set, which, okay, again, you're going to have a ton of extras because you got to make up an entire town.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a lot of people coming in and out from day to day, but...
There should be security, for sure.
This guy should be on the no-fly list.
But what's crazy, they said...
You killed him off. Like, you can't... How does he just sneak back onto set?
They've had other episodes where that happened. Because remember, they had one guy who apparently had a hand glider, and he flew into the actual scene. Another person was hiding in a present in Truman's home.
Oh, right.
He pops out and he's like, I'm on the Truman Show. And it's like, how did that even happen?
Now, you know what, though? This might sound crazy. I could see something like that happening faster than I could see his dad getting on set. And here's why.
Could be an extra.
Right. So, like, if I get a job as an extra and I show up on set and then I decide, like, yo, I'm just going to out the show.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? Like, you were supposed to just be going to the post office. But you decided to be an idiot, and now we have to kick you off. But, like, you already employed this man.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, I'm a homeless guy. Nobody's going to notice me. And, like, he was right. Nobody noticed him. He's like, wait, that's my father. And they're like, oh, crap. Let's just throw him onto a bus. Truman will never notice. Which is another thing. It's like, they kind of, like, it's almost like they think he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Another big glitch that I thought didn't make any sense is when he's sitting on the beach thinking about his dad, and then it starts to rain. But it's literally only raining in this patch of space where he's sitting. And then when he moves, the rain doesn't go with him. And he keeps moving and avoiding the rain until they're like, oh, crap. And they turn on the rain for the entire beach. But then it's like, why wouldn't you have just done that at the beginning?
Someone messed up. Obviously, it was an error. It was an error. Someone messed up. Someone lost their job that day.
Yeah, but why would you have one patch of rain that turns on at all? Like, why
it's
would
like
that
a
even,
spotlight? But
why
with
would that
rain.
even be a feature?
I don't know. That was a mess up. Also, there was a glitch with the radio where the wrong frequency was turned on. And so it was like, oh, he's about to turn on whatever lane. And every time he was driving a car going to work. And every time he would turn onto a block, the radio would say what block he was turning on.
It was like he could hear production's walkie-talkie, basically.
Yeah. And he was like, wait, what's happening? And then they realized the mistake. And they fixed it back to the regular DJ. And it's like, sorry about that. We picked up a police frequency there.
Right.
It's like, come on, bro. Come on. We know what's happening here. So that was out of control. Also, what was interesting to think about was when he goes to try to get a flight to Fiji, he goes to that travel agent. And you mentioned like all the different posters that are warning about
it's
lightning.
Not worth it.
Yeah, lightning hitting your plane. This could happen to you.
Yes, exactly.
Which is like, what travel agency would ever have posters up there that are trying to dissuade you from booking a flight? But the woman who's supposed to be the travel agent runs in a hurry, and she's still wearing like the napkin in her shirt that you wear when you're putting on your makeup and your makeup done. And so it's like she literally was just in the makeup chair. They finished doing her makeup and she ran out and it was like, oh snap, my napkin is still on.
So they weren't expecting him to go there. And that's the whole thing. It's like at any point where he tried to do things that wasn't a part of the plan, it was very scrambly. So then it's like, bro, like this production kind of stinks because this is a 30-year-old man. It's like, it's not like he's 7 years old where you can like control, what's going on in his life. Like he's a 30-year-old man. He's going to make decisions every day. And so.
Well, they assume like he gets up, he gets the paper, he goes to work. This is what he does every day.
Yes.
So like they assume that day he went into the office and he went into the turnstile doors. He went in revolving doors and then he went right back out and was like, let me go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they were like, wait, what? And everybody's looking around like the camera's trying to pan around, figure out what's going on. The last thing I wanted to talk about as far as how production.
Well, sorry, just another thing too that doesn't make sense is the fact that like, yes, he lives a very consistent life. However, people need breaks from their routine. So as a grown man, he's going to want to go on vacation.
Yeah.
He's going to want to take a ferry to a neighboring town. He's going to want to...
Not a ferry. It's water.
Well, right. He doesn't. But like, what if he faced his fear?
Yeah.
They would have had to make up some excuse about why the ferry wasn't running. Or like, hey, I want to skip work and call out sick and go catch a baseball game or something. Like, that's something that any human would do at any point in their life.
Yeah.
So I feel like they didn't really prepare for that at all of like, what happens when he just doesn't go to work? And they were like, oh my God, what do we do? It's like, come on, man. You should have had a plan for this. There should be contingencies. You created this entire town and you didn't think about what happens if he doesn't do the same thing every day.
And
it's just very,
yeah.
It was very shoddy. The entire production was just poorly put together.
More to your point, the scene where he's in the car with Meryl and he's basically fed up at this point and he's like, we're leaving. We're going to drive to Atlantic City, he says. And Meryl,
Atlantic City? You don't even like to gamble.
And Meryl's like, what are you talking about? So before she gets in the car, he's talking to her. And we saw him earlier on the screen now that the movie's playing in the background. This is one neighbor that always has a garbage can in his hands. And the garbage can has a big-ass camera in the front of the garbage can.
Bro.
And he keeps like, so as he's talking to Meryl, the guy with the garbage can standing there. And it's like, we can obviously see the camera coming out of the garbage can.
And also,
why are you always holding the garbage?
Why is he taking out the trash every day? There's not trash pickup every day. It's once a week. He comes outside every day. Hey, how's it going, Truman? And he's holding the trash bin like by his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like,
no one carries
nobody
the trash
carries
like
their trash that way.
You just drag it down. That's it.
He's holding it over his shoulder. Like, come on, man.
So that was the first indicator. But then he gets in the car and he says to Meryl, like, I've been watching and like something is wrong. These people are going around in a loop. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he's able to tell her the order. He says it's going to be a lady with a bike, a man carrying flowers, and then a dented beetle driving around. And just as he says, in succession, they come around the block.
Truman, this is silly.
There it is! There it is! There's the dented beetle! Yes! Woo! Don't you want to know how I did that?
And I'm like, again, we have cameras everywhere, including in his vehicle. Did no one think to radio them and say, hey, guys,
Don't go around right
don't go
now.
around the block. Go down the side block, come back into the lot, or have a different actor walk by. No? Nobody thought of it?
No.
So that was very strange to me.
And that also seems, again, like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you just walking in a circle? You're doing this all day, every day?
Just carrying flowers.
It's like, you don't even give him different props? He just has the same prop every day? Flowers?
He's a flower guy.
Where's he going?
He's a flower man.
The flower guy that be in the club? Yo.
You want to buy rose for your lady?
The flower guy in the club. Bro, this is a crazy sidebar, but I have to get this bar off because...
Is this just in black clubs or does it happen in other clubs?
I have no idea. If this is a black thing. And frankly, like, I'm past the age of going to clubs. For all I know,
maybe they don't do it anymore.
For all I know, clubs don't even exist anymore. Because
Yeah.
I don't know if Gen Z be clubbing the way that we used to back in our day.
They do kickbacks, I think.
Yeah, and like I feel like there's like hookah lounges and bars and
yeah.
lounges and things like that. But back in my day,
In our heyday.
pull up a chair. Let me tell you about the good old days.
Listeners, scoot closer.
Come gather around the campfire. We're gonna talk about the good old days of 2009. We used to go to a club. You be in the club dancing, whatever, with your little drink or whatever. And some guy would just walk in at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like 12:30 a.m. and he just starts walking around with roses.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to persuade the men in the club to buy flowers to give to the women in the club.
Mm-hmm. At $5 a pop.
But it's like, why would I ever do this?
Oh, people did it.
Yo,
Bro,
wait.
I've received them.
Oh, no.
I've received the rose in the club.
It's so bad.
I've received it.
Because the thing is like, if this is one of two things, right? It's either I'm going to see the rose man, I'm going to buy a rose from the rose man, and I'm going to give it to the girl I'm with to be like, yo, babe, I got you this rose.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to be like, thank you, I guess. Like, this is such a romantic gesture that you gave to me in this sweaty nightclub.
You don't buy for your girlfriend.
Or,
Yeah, you don't buy for
option
your
number
girlfriend.
2,
You don't buy for your girlfriend.
I'm going to buy a rose from the rose man and give it to a girl that I just met.
Yeah.
That is bizarre. Like, it never made any sense to me. I'm like, how does this guy make any money? And then I would go to different clubs and I'd still see the rose man. And I'm like, yo, who's buying roses from this man? But apparently somebody is. Because now I'm finding out that you got one. And I've always laughed at it because I'm like, yo, like, I'm already spending money on these drinks. As a man, I probably had to pay a cover charge to get in.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm going to spend more money, not to mention the bathroom guy.
Oh, yeah.
Is trying to charge me to give me a paper towel. I'm like, bro, like, I could have grabbed my own paper towel.
What about the mints?
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, I got mints and cologne. It's like, come on, bro. Like, come on. I don't need your mints and cologne. Like, come on. But at least he has a little bit of a hustle because, you know, maybe I'm trying to
He's helping you
make
out.
myself, maybe I'm sweaty and I'm trying
Yeah.
to, but it's like, I never need a rose. I've never been in a club and been like, damn, if I only had a rose right now, like, I would be able to come up. I would be able to get this girl's number. Like,
Did you get the Beast vibes?
it's terrible, bro. Wait, no. I will get back to Truman Show, but I have to hear the story about somebody buying you a rose in the club because this makes no sense.
You know those guys.
I don't. I don't know those guys.
That was very George Costanza of you. No, I don't.
I don't know those guys, Jerry. Who are these guys?
No, like you're just, you're in the club and these are the guys that are doing the most,
Oh, of course.
These are the guys that like, you come in, they're interested in you, and then it's like, oh, what are you ladies drinking? And so they're not just buying for me.
Of course.
They're buying for my girls as well.
Of course.
I mean, I've had guys buy drinks for me and my now husband.
Oh my God.
So like
now you're this is so crazy. You're jumping straight out the window at that point. You're jumping so far out you're jumping out of a 20-story building. You're buying drinks for a lady and her man in an attempt to get her number? That's diabolical. Bro, give up.
It's like, yo, but is he making you happy?
Oh my God. Yeah, let me buy him a drink to distract him while I steal his woman.
And my man's in the back like, yeah, get it. You got it. Top shelf, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, yeah, it's those guys that are they're just trying to holler at you. They don't, they offer you drinks. And again, like as a woman, when I was younger, I definitely used to take the drinks. Like now, I'm too old for that, and it's kind of like, bro, I really don't need to buy me anything. But when you're in college, it's like, yes, buy me the drink.
Of course.
And they would go and they would, get the drink that you wanted. But then when the flower guy came around, the rose guy came around, they would just buy it. Like no woman is asking. Well, I should say no. Let me not say no. But generally speaking, we're not like, I don't want the flower. But
because now I have to carry this thing around all night. So now what am I doing? Now I look like an idiot because you decided to go to the flower man. Now I have to walk around with this stupid rose. I'm already struggling with my clutch.
Right.
I don't want to be carrying this around. I'm wearing heels. I'm annoyed. Now I'm carrying this stupid rose from some man that I met 7 minutes ago. It's ridiculous.
And they just, they buy it for you. You just take it. You just say thank you. What are you supposed to say? You just
and then what? It's like this is
it
never
doesn't
gonna.
It doesn't even make it home.
This is never gonna work for you, brother.
No,
it's never gonna get you the girl.
I don't ever remember a rose man's name.
Yeah, you don't even remember the guy's name.
No.
Oh man! All right, I had to get that off. It's been bubbling on my chest for the past 15 years. Like, yo, who are these men?
They're out there.
Yo, y'all look crazy. You know who you are. There's at least one flower guy listening to this podcast right now, bowing his head and shit.
They sold it or they bought it?
Oh, they bought it.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely one of them. And he's like, yo, they're killing me right now. They're killing me. And I'm sorry, bro.
Listen,
we have to kill you.
If you're a rose man, let us know.
I have to kill you because you should have known better.
Give us your justification for it.
Oh, my God. All right.
That's
so
really
anyway.
funny.
So back to the Truman Show.
What were we even talking about?
We were talking about the guy circling around his block in flowers.
Yeah. They were just doing the most. So I think like so he knew like something is not right. And this is where he gets in the car and he's like, that's it. We're going somewhere. So he tries to drive out from his neighborhood, but lo and behold, out of nowhere is a complete traffic jam. I mean, cars just pull out like, it was very synchronized. They all pull out at the same time. They block his street and the next street going over. And he's like, well, I guess we can't go. So then he reverses and he goes around one time. Mm-hmm. And when he comes back around, he's like, look, magic. There's no traffic. So he knows like,
yo, this is doctored.
This is crazy. And when he gets to the bridge, we're thinking like, oh, this is it because he can't go over water. So he can't get on the ferry. He can't go in water. He can't go over water. And we're thinking like they finally got him. But he's like, no, I'm not going out like this. This is when he presses his foot on the gas pedal and he closes his eyes and he's like, Meryl, you better steer or we're both going to die.
Yeah.
And so she does so. They get over the bridge. And now, like, you're cheering for him because you're like, oh, like, he's gotten over his fear, kind of.
He's gotten out of town.
He's getting ready to go. And as he's driving out. Next thing you know, there's a sign, like, warning. There's some kind of...
dangerous forest fire.
Yeah, the forest fire. They drive through that. But then after that, there's some kind of chemical plant that has some type of leak, and so they're saying that
they blocked the road, basically.
Yeah, he couldn't get out. They capture him, and it's a whole thing. And it's just like
he gets arrested.
Yeah,
because he tries to get out his car and run.
So now he knows, like, clearly something is awry. Like, you guys are keeping me here for some reason. And this is where he ends up escaping.
And this is the part where she quits because she's like, "Yo, he's spiraling. Like, I can't do this anymore."
Honestly, can you blame him?
No, I can't blame him. Of course not.
Like,
but I also understand why she quit.
Well, yeah. She's like, held a knife to my
This is not what I signed up for.
I think she yelled out like help me or no, do something, she says. And then he's like
who are you talking
to? Mm-hmm. And then lo and behold, his best friend shows up. Hey, somebody want some brewskis?
Yo, this man stay with the brewskis. Like, bro, do you ever come over and not have a six-pack?
He always has a six-pack.
Like, every time? Every time?
Even after later on that night, Truman successfully escapes. He ends up sleeping in his basement, and then he like digs a hole through the closet, and he ends up leaving through his lawn. And they call his best friend, and they tell him to come over. It's literally in the middle of the night. The best friend like is like tearing down the street. He pulls over, jumps out of the truck, and he's grabbing the beer. And it's like, He's sleeping. Why are you carrying beer?
It's 1:30 in the morning. Why are you bringing beer over?
But that's how they get their ads, because the show is on 24/7. So there is no commercial break.
Now, one thing I will say that I did enjoy was the scenes with the viewers watching the show.
Yes.
I thought that was cool because it kind of showed us how his entire life is a spectacle and how people are getting into it the same way they would get into like their favorite TV show or their favorite soap opera of like, yo, like what's going to happen? Oh, remember when this happened? Even during the show, they would show flashbacks. So like while he's sitting on the beach, they're showing a flashback of him in college. So it's like, it's a whole production.
Yeah.
Where he's like sitting here thinking, yo, I watched my dad die when I was 11. And they're like, nah, this is just all part of this big show.
Episode win.
Yeah, this is the episode win.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a flashback episode of Family Matters or whatever.
Yeah. But it's also, my whole thing was like, so these people, they don't watch anything but the Truman Show?
I don't think that's not how I took it.
I was like,
I took it
watching.
more so as like we're gonna show you different people who are watching the show. That's not to say like they don't ever change the channel, because even when the show ends, when he escapes and those security guards are like, "Oh man, that was cool," he's like, yo, change the channels. Let's see what else is on."
But I figured they changed it because the show was over. That's the way I read it.
Yes,
like,
and well, yeah, I gotta stop saying that. But as for me, this is when he pulls the knife on her. Oh, somebody do something!
The knife was also product placement.
Yes, it was a slicer, dicer, and grater.
Yes.
For me, it was that last part of the movie where he's like, hey, let's see what else is on. I thought that was like a genius way to end the film, because it was kind of like, hey, this is this guy's entire like life struggle. And to them, it's just another thing on TV. Like, it's like, this doesn't actually matter to anybody. This is just like entertainment. And as soon as you're like, oh, that was cool. All right, what else is on TV? Like, it's like, it actually doesn't matter at all. It's like everything that Christoph talked about was BS, because you're talking about like, oh, this show is teaching people about human emotion and da-da-da-da. But it's like, nah, like this is just, it's TV. Like people are just using it as an escape. And then as soon as the show's over, they're just going to turn on the game or whatever. Like it doesn't really matter to anybody.
So I feel like when I watched the end of the movie, I absolutely felt the way you did, but it kind of made me feel something, because you know, I enjoy watching like documentaries and true crime and things like that. And I think sometimes you get desensitized to like the terrible things that happen to people.
100%.
And so it's like you will watch a whole, 8-episode series on the murder of blah, blah, blah. And then
you'd be like, damn, that was crazy.
And you're like, man, that episode was wild. And like you'll think about it for like a second, and then it's like, oh, let me turn on Friends. It's like that was someone's entire life, like you said. Like this is someone's life and
the only way I can forget about this is with some Phoebe Buffet. It's the only
Buffet,
right?
So I kind of felt a little like called out when I saw that. I was like, oh, I feel like this is me. Cause
I will say that one joint about the dude that got arrested for murder, and he had like the brother who was like a little. What was that called?
I know what you're talking about, and I can't.
The Netflix?
I know, I can't. I'm hugging myself right now.
Woo, boy.
So, I gotta look up the title because it's driving me crazy.
That gave me, like, nightmares. Like,
no, legit.
That was not one that I was like, oh, let me just see what else is on. That messed with me. That stuck in my head. Even Don't F With Cats, I was like, that messed me up a little bit, too. Particularly when it turned into Making a Murder, and Don't F With Cats was not to the same level.
No.
Making a Murder messed with me for like a week at least.
The fact that you said nightmares is funny because, as you know, I watch all types of... I watch horror movies to go to bed and it does nothing for me. Making a Murder was the only thing I've watched that ever gave me a nightmare.
Because it's real.
Because
it's not a horror movie.
I imagined that I was him and I was in jail and everyone thought I had done the crime and I didn't, and it freaked me out. That movie makes me very uncomfortable. I can't watch it again.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
I can't watch it again.
Right? Like, this is the thing. It's like, when you're watching The Truman Show, yes, The Truman Show is a drama series for everyone except for Truman. For Truman, it is a documentary.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's like
You're right. But
it's like if you watched that Jury Duty show
oh yeah,
where it's like everybody's acting except for this guy. He doesn't know.
but that was funny.
Exactly. But imagine if it wasn't. Then it'll be sick.
Yeah. Well,
So that's the whole thing.
I
It's
have
like,
thoughts.
yeah, like it's not funny anymore. Like now it's actually kind of like this is messed up.
but I think also when you talk about the people who were watching the show, the way that they portrayed the audience, it was like they were so hooked. For instance, they showed one woman that her baby was crying and she completely ignored it because she was watching the Truman Show. You have the two guys who were like security guards or like some kind of valet parking lot who completely ignore a customer.
Yeah, just park it yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Leave the keys in the car. No, I'm not going to do that.
Can you park my car, please? Are you kidding me?
The staff at that bar, the Truman bar, are barely serving any drinks. They're just standing there watching.
Now, I really wanted to bring them up because that was the one that was like, yo, these people aren't working. Like, they're not serving anyone.
No.
These waitresses are not waiting on any tables.
No.
Like, they're literally just...
It's a packed bar.
They're literally just... Like, everybody's just sitting there. I'm like, how does anybody have drinks? Because they haven't served anyone. How does anybody have food? They're just eating the bar peanuts. Nobody in the kitchen's working. They're all watching the Truman Show.
I'm watching the show.
And I forgot about this part, which is on screen right now, which is where they brought back his dad.
Oh.
This made me livid.
No, yeah, that's too much trauma.
And here go our waitress friends who aren't serving anyone.
That's too much trauma. I didn't like that at all.
It was gross.
I didn't like that at all.
So gross. The two
old
old
women
ladies.
they hug a Truman pillow.
Yeah,
That's
they
nice.
were big fans. But I feel like the concept of the show would be like, wait, this is like kind of interesting, and maybe I want to check this out. But I feel
Yeah.
like after you like, I don't know how you could keep watching it without starting to feel
People would.
No,
Absolutely.
100% people would.
Absolutely.
I'm just wondering. I guess I'm questioning myself of like,
Oh, would you keep
would
watching?
you partake in this nonsense, or at a certain point would you be like, yo, this is kind of gross?
Oh,
And I feel like it would be difficult to also keep it interesting without continuing to doctor his life, because if you're just watching someone like just live a normal life,
just make choices.
then it's like
It's
this
not
is
as
starting to get
interesting.
boring. Like then
Yeah.
I'm just gonna want to watch something that's scripted.
But I mean, they're watching him eat cereal and sleep because the cameras are always on. And I'm like, who is watching him?
Yeah, I'm not watching any of that.
Sleep.
That's crazy.
Like, that was the weird part to me. Like, the cameras were never turned off. Although they said that they didn't show any sex with Meryl. They said that, like, the wind would just blow against the curtain. Like, we don't get to see anything. So there was some privacy.
He said the wind blows and the curtains move. You don't see anything. Yeah, that was one of my favorite quotes.
There was some privacy.
So I guess at the end, obviously he figures out what's going on. He finds a way to escape. This is when he has this big conversation with Christoph, who's speaking through the clouds as if he's God.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, Truman, da-da-da-da-da, like, I created this perfect life for you. Why would you leave? Da-da-da.
Listen to me, Truman. There's no more truth out there than there is in the world I created for you. Same lies. The same deceit. But in my world, you have nothing to fear.
And I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense because the whole show is ruined now. Like, he knows that it's fake.
He can't stay.
So, like, why are you trying to get him to stay at this point? So, like, he just goes back to his life and he's like, everybody here is acting very clearly all fake. All right, I'm just gonna, like, that actually, like, the show's ruined.
It's over.
Like, just let him leave.
Yeah. When he's on the boat, when he crashes into the wall and he realizes that, like, for sure, this entire world is fake. It was just, it was good to see that he finally was, like, felt, like, vindicated. Like, I knew
Yeah,
this was going on.
I was right.
But it's also was rough to watch because it's like, think about, I am now 30 and my entire life has been a lie. Like, how do you grapple with that? And
so,
then move forward.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be my next question is like, what do you think happens to him now? He's now 30.
He's going to be paid. That's number one. You have to pay him.
Maybe. They
the corp owns
they own
him.
him. I mean, they don't own him, but like
yeah.
they adopted him.
Which doesn't make sense, but yes.
I don't.
Someone's gonna hire him though. Like I feel like he'll be fine. Like he's Truman.
So here's what I was thinking, right? Like, okay, so he leaves the show, so he's no longer being filmed 24/7, and he can actually like live an authentic life. But
and he's gonna find that girl because she's coming to find him.
He's 100% gonna find Sylvia.
Well, she's gonna find him because she knows where the studio is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, he finds this girl. Maybe they work out, maybe they don't. We don't know. They didn't get to date when they were 19, so now they're going to give it a try when they're 30. But I'm wondering, how does he now adjust to the real world when everything is no longer going to be
perfect
or, catered to him?
Or safe.
And furthermore, he wants to leave to be a normal guy, but he's
famous,
an international celebrity.
Yeah.
So even when he leaves, he's still not going to be able to lead a normal life.
I don't like that.
But it's true because it's like,
so dark.
Because it's like, like this show has been broadcast in like 30 countries all over the world, and it's 24/7, and it's like the biggest phenomenon. So it's like, okay, he leaves. Now he's no longer being filmed, but he's like, I don't even know what the equivalent of that is.
Yeah.
Like, what's the biggest TV star you could think of? Like, I don't even know if there's like a reality TV star that I could
just think
think
he's
of.
Michael Jackson. Everybody knows Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it's like LeBron James comes out of the bubble and then he's just like, oh, all right, I'm gonna live a normal life. No, you're not. You're LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows who you are, bro. You're Truman. Like, so it's
right.
like he's gonna go around. He's gonna walk around in the street. They're gonna be like, "Oh, Truman,
paparazzi.
Can I get your
my
autograph?
God.
Yo, deal. Let me get a picture, bro." He's
Not
gonna
to
be like,
mention,
like, who are you?
He's living in a world that's like in the 1950s. I don't know. He's gonna wake up to the 1990s.
He's gonna be like, "Whoa, what is happening here?
What are these phones?
What is going on? What is internet?"
Oh no, it's gonna be really bad.
He's gonna need a lot of therapy.
It's gonna be really bad.
He's gonna need a ton of therapy.
And like we didn't touch on this, but like you said, this world is so catered. And it's also like all the actors there have been vetted. It's safe. He doesn't know what crime is.
No, he probably doesn't.
He doesn't know. He doesn't have any street smarts.
No, he definitely doesn't have street
So
smarts.
it's like he's got to learn how to be an adult in this world, in the current world.
Sylvia's
terrifying.
got a big job in front of her.
That's terrifying. Oh, that's a bad ending.
No, it's still
It's a
good.
bad ending.
It's a good end. It's a better ending than him staying in that world and being oblivious.
Well, it goes back to like the Matrix idea. I know you haven't seen it. But
Red pill, blue pill?
It's the whole like,
Yeah.
do you want to stay believing in this bubble, believing that your world is how it is, or do you want to wake up and realize, oh, life is actually a lot harder than I thought?
So that's the whole like ignorance is bliss question, right? Like, is it better to be quote unquote woke or aware of what's going on in the world, or is it better to just be a dummy and be happy about it, right? Because it's like the less you know, the happier you are.
God.
Right? So then it's like, do you want Truman to be a dummy, or do you want him to be a happy idiot, or do you want him to be...
The face that I'm making, y'all, is like, I just feel so uncomfortable. Because I knew it was dark, but it's like a lot darker than I even thought about when I first watched it. Because I definitely felt some type of way at the end of it. I was just like, this doesn't feel great.
Well, I think the natural place to go from here is themes. So, like, what do you think is the theme of this movie?
Well, I think there are a few themes that come out. So the first one is it's probably better to ask questions and not just accept things as they are presented to you.
Okay.
And I think that's something that when you used to be a teacher, you mentioned that you used to tell your students, like, always ask questions. Like, even if it's me, like, ask me. Don't assume because I'm telling you it's right. Like,
yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like, hey, what's the answer? I'm like, if you can't explain to me what the answer is, then it's wrong. Mm-hmm. And just because I tell you, oh, the answer is B, like, you shouldn't just believe the answer is B if you don't understand it, or if you should question me and say, hey, like, why
is it?
Yeah, like, if you think it's A, then tell me it's A.
Yeah.
And I think that's just, a a larger point about like being able to be a critical thinker, which I think is something that's like getting lost in our society in general. But certainly for children, because like, you know, they are the future and hopefully they end up better off than us.
God.
But like, yeah, like I think that's an important skill for anybody to have is like, and not to say that like the world should be full of conspiracy theorists, but I think that there is something to being like having a healthy skepticism
Yeah.
of like, hey, not just believing everything you hear, but like, hey, why is that happening? Or does that actually make any sense?
Does it make sense? Make it make sense.
And once he starts questioning, like, does it make sense? Then he realized, no, it does not. And this is all BS.
And then, of course, it's the whole idea that people need to be able to make their own choices, which he was not able to do. Even down to the person that he was married to.
Free will.
They forced Meryl on him, and they removed Sylvia from the situation. So, you know, it's not right to control someone like that. So, you know, all that free will, blah blah blah.
Yep.
You know the gist. I'm like about to burst at the seams with my facts. Like,
No, go ahead, burst.
Like I feel like I'm about to burst. I'm gonna leave the most interesting one for the end because it's a doozy.
It's a doozy?
It's a doozy.
All right.
So initially this show was titled The Malcolm Show and was supposed to be a much darker film. It was supposed to be a paranoid drama set in Manhattan where it always rained. And the director character, the Kristoff's character, basically hid in the shadows and like followed the guy around. But there's a lot more paranoia and a lot darker, which I don't think I would want to watch that. This movie is similar to Twilight Zone. They had 2 different episodes. One was called Special Service, where a man noticed a camera behind a mirror and discovered his life is televised. There was also an episode called A World of Difference, where a businessman hears a director shout, "Cut," and finds out that his life has all been a show at the end of the episode. So there's kind of been earlier shows that mirrored this type of theme. For Meryl, Laura Linney looked at 1940s Sears and Roebuck catalogs, and Norman Rockwell covers from the Saturday Evening Post were inspirations for the looks of the various actors in the film, which is why they looked like...
Which goes back to your question.
Why?
Why did they all dress like they were in the 40s? Like,
I still don't know why that was the theme, but that's what they did.
I also feel like maybe this was Kristoff's... Because Kristoff's an older man, and he has to be older, at least 20 years older than Truman, because he created the show when Truman was a baby.
Right.
And I say that because I wonder if this is his vision of utopia, is like a 1950s Americana suburb. And maybe that's a part of the inspiration as to why they look like that, is because like, if he's creating this perfect world for Truman, then maybe he sees that as like when he grew up, which would have been probably in the 50s.
Yeah, that's likely. I could see that. So the interview that they did with the different actors, the Sea Haven actors talking about the show, there's actually a 30-minute documentary that ran on Nick at Night where they aired those interviews as like a little show.
That's fire.
Which I thought would have been cute. The composer, Philip Glass, composed 7 songs for the soundtrack, and he has a cameo in the movie where he plays the piano during a scene where Truman is asleep. Peter Weir, who is the director, actually wanted to highlight that we are all part of the Truman Show by cutting to the actual movie audience before going back to the screening, but those plans never came into fruition, likely because it would be such a huge undertaking. But that would be pretty dope. If in the movie theater watching it and all of a sudden like you're on the screen, you like imagine like the mind. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting. The so this is something called a Truman Show delusion. It's not officially recognized as like an official diagnosis, but it has been cited in articles by the National Institutes of Health as well as Psychology Today, where a few people have believed that they had other people covertly recording them and or following them. In all cases, they've been diagnosed with some kind of like schizophrenic type of condition. But the Truman Show delusion has been mentioned as something that people have, after watching the movie, they're like, oh, this is my life, which is I can see that.
I remember when this movie came out, and I feel like we watched this with our parents. Like I have like a memory of this being like a family movie night, back in whenever this came out, 03, 04. Oh, well, yeah, all right, maybe it was a little later than 98.
Probably saw it on VHS or something.
But like, I remember thinking, maybe not at the time when I saw it, but certainly at some point, like, if this was true, you would just never know. Like, what if everybody in your life was just faking? And then it's just like,
yeah,
like this could happen to anyone.
Yes.
And so like, okay, yeah, these people are schizophrenic, but it's also like, I get it.
Yeah.
like I've definitely had the thought before of like, yo, like,
what if?
Yeah, like what if?
This is all fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that whole it's like the whole concept of like the only thing that you know is real is like your own feelings and emotion, or like the whole concept of like solipsism, which is like getting into like this whole philosophical thing, but it's like the only thing that you can actually prove is what's going on in your own mind.
Yeah.
Right? So like you can kind of spiral there when it comes to the fact of like, how do I know that anything is authentic? And you kind of don't.
You don't.
So you have to just trust that it is and just live your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay, so I'm getting into the doozy in a second. Last fact before the doozy. A Truman Show series was planned, but it ended up being later abandoned.
No, I don't think this needs to be a TV show. That's not a good idea.
That's too much. Although, watch 5 years from now, they do a TV show. Who knows?
Of course.
My big doozy is there is a documentary that's currently on Hulu. It was released in 2023. It is called The Contestant. This is about a Japanese reality show where a contestant was left naked in a room for 15 months and was forced to live only on food and clothing that he won from magazine sweepstakes. The man was an aspiring comedian. His nickname was Nasubi. And what happened was he thought...
Sounds funny.
Huh?
Sounds like he's funny.
He thought he was taking part in a challenge by a popular Japanese TV producer in order to reach the prize goal. So basically the goal was to win a total of earnings that I guess cost 1 million yen, which is currently about 6,400 US dollars, only earned through sweepstakes. So he's sitting in this room, he's butt naked, and you have to like win clothing, you have to win food, you have to win things in order to survive.
There must be a lot of sweepstakes in where is this? Japan, China?
This is in Japan.
Japan?
Japanese show.
Yeah. There must be a lot of sweepstakes for them to even think that this was possible.
This was in 1998.
I feel like I've seen a trailer for this movie.
I watched the documentary.
Oh, you watched the whole thing?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for it and I was like,
watch it.
This looks nuts. And then,
please watch it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The thing about it is, he knew he was being recorded, but it was kind of like, okay, we're going to record this and we'll see if it's interesting or funny. So he's like, this is dumb. I'm in a room, like, I'm trying to make jokes, but like, I don't think I'm really that funny and it's not really interesting. No one's going to watch it. Little did he know, it was being live streamed.
Oh, wow.
There was between 15 and 17 million people watching him each week on a 24/7 live stream of his room. Can you imagine?
And he's just in a room.
Yeah. So it's like you're by yourself. You're starting to go a little crazy. You're talking to yourself.
Right.
Oh, I want bananas.
For how long?
15 months.
It's like solitary confinement on
I
camera.
want bananas. Oh, this, that, and the other. Oh, whatever. And I was watching it.
Wait, so if he wins something, how does he get into the room? Because he can't leave.
They open the door and it's like, oh no, he's not a prisoner. He can stay there. It's a challenge. So in his mind, they didn't kidnap him, but it's just kind of like, oh, like, and the producer
is he like using the bathroom in there?
Producer told him like, oh, like this will be a challenge, like mentally see if you can do it. And in his mind, he's like, I want to be able to do this.
Right, okay.
So he's not a prisoner. Let's make that very clear. He could have left whenever he wanted to. My issue is that he didn't know he was being live streamed.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
And like, yes, they would have like, so his name Nasubi, apparently it means eggplant. in English.
Okay.
And so they started off with like this circular red dot that would hide his genitals every time he moved because he was butt naked. And over time they changed it to an eggplant because his name was Eggplant. And nowadays, like an eggplant in emojis is like a penis.
So
and I feel like this all
came from
the
Nasubi.
show. Yeah, Nasubi.
Shout out to him.
So on the show, what
He
really
gave us our favorite horny emoji.
I don't know where the peach came from, but at least we know where the eggplant came from.
It's a different show.
But what made me upset about watching the show is that you have these two Japanese, I guess, co-hosts for the show that he's on. So the name of the show is called Denpa Shonen. And they were like talking about this guy. They would make jokes, and they were always like making fun of him. They made fun of like his face, like his facial features. They made fun of like there were scenes where he was obviously depressed or he was scared or nervous, and they'd be like laughing at him. And I'm like, bro, this is so messed up. Like, how is this okay? Like y'all are airing at this and you're laughing at this, and it's like, and like I don't want to give away any spoilers, but if you watch it, the way they ended the show is so wrong in my opinion. Like I just hated the way they ended the show. It was terrible. And apparently the show Denpa Shonen they have different seasons. So this was just one season of the show. And they basically traumatize people. The people are all aspiring comedians for some reason. They have one where they drop two people off on a desert island.
How funny can you possibly be in a room by yourself? Like you're gonna make jokes for like the first 5 hours, and then it's gonna be like, all right, this is
but
not
again,
funny
when you
anymore.
watch the Denpa Shonen footage, they show it on the contestant, like they're laughing, like, "Oh, this is so funny," but like what they're laughing at isn't funny. It's like they're laughing at his trauma. Like it's just, to me, it's really messed up. And I think I had
Bad hombres.
I found like another like interview somewhere they talked about like, you know, were you able to sue because like you didn't sign off on this? And he's like, I didn't even know that I had the right to like sue. Like I didn't even know that I had those kind of rights. And so they did give him compensation, but the compensation, I think they said, ended up being like $100,000 in US money, which is like, bro, this is not compensation. So yeah, it's called The Contestant. Again, it's on Hulu. Definitely check that out.
All right, let's that's crazy.
Yeah.
I am probably gonna watch this movie.
Yeah.
Let's do our rewind ratings.
All right, I think I'll start. I think you did the last one.
All right.
Truman Show. Yeah, this is a film that is different for a Jim Carrey movie in the sense that he's not doing the typical Jim Carrey things.
No.
There's none of that silliness.
It's definitely not Liar Liar.
No. Although I one of my favorite quotes is the whole "Good morning," and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I always love that quote.
And it's his last line in the film.
It is. It made me think much more than I thought it would. Like, I feel like going into it, I just assumed it would be just like a simple movie about these cameras. But now that I'm watching it back, especially when I think about how this movie was so like before its time, because there weren't that many reality shows out. Like Big Brother wasn't out yet, Real World wasn't out yet, and
Real World wasn't out in 1998. It definitely was.
Oh, maybe it was out.
Yeah.
No, it came out. Hold on.
Real World came out in like 94.
Yeah. Big Brother came out in 99. That's what I'm thinking. Big Brother wasn't out yet. But it's like, it was kind of like the reality shows hadn't yet peaked. Like where we are now.
No,
like,
definitely.
Everything is reality.
Yeah, they peaked in the 2000s.
But this was kind of before. It kind of saw it coming and was trying to address all those different issues that we see now. And it's like reality TV is definitely manufactured to an extent. And it kind of was telling us that before we even knew what was coming. Mm-hmm. So I like how smart it was. Had this movie come out 10 years later, maybe it wouldn't have been considered as smart. But the fact that it came out so early, I'm like, oh, they kind of saw something here.
They were ahead of it.
That I think is really interesting. So I really enjoyed this movie. The wife did bother me as well, but not so much so that I won't watch this movie again. This is a strong one for me. I think there's a lot of themes that we talked about that you can take from it. And I also felt like you were rooting for Truman the whole time. Like you wanted him to find out and you wanted him to get out.
Yeah.
So it's a 4.5 for me.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
This is a good movie. Like I remember thinking it was good at the time when I watched it at like 13 or whatever. Watching it again now, I still enjoyed it. Like it still kind of hit all the same spots for me in terms of the story, the message, the concept, the paranoia, and also just the desire for him to escape. Like, you're rooting for him the entire time. So I do feel like this movie has replay value. It's like a movie that you kind of, at least for me, like, you kind of forget about it, but then, like, when people bring it up, you're like, oh yeah, that movie was good.
Yeah.
Now I'm like nitpicking, because I'm like, where do I want to put this in the grand scheme of things? And
it's hard to remember all of our past scores.
I mean,
I almost want to go back and like do a chart.
We're now this is like episode 54, I think. So I can't remember how I've rated this against other movies, but I feel like when I was watching it at the time, I was like, this is like a solid 4. So I'm just gonna stick with that. Okay. I could probably rate it a little bit higher, because I did enjoy this movie. I don't really have too much negative to say about it, but the only reason I'm not giving it a 5 is because it's not like a movie that I would go back to all the time.
Yeah.
But like, it's definitely a movie that holds up, and
nothing didn't age well.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, the whole movie's set in like the 60s.
I mean, probably the one thing I would say is when I think his mom mentioned when his dad is found downtown, she mentions like cleaning up the trash in regards to homeless people, which isn't great.
No.
So that's the one thing. But other than that,
yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 rewinds.
Okay.
Good movie.
Strong score. It's 4.5.
This movie's legit. Shout out to the recommendation for this one. And if you have other ideas of movies from the 1990s that you would like for us to rewatch and review and rate, please send them to us. You can find us on all social media sites at RR90s Pod. We're on all of the streaming at Rewind Rewatch Podcast, and you can also email us at rewindrewatch1990s@gmail.com.
As a reminder, our Patreon is now up. The time this airs, our second bonus episode will also be up on Patreon.
That's right. And for the Patreon, we are extending outside of the 90s and doing movies from the late 80s and early 2000s. So if you're interested in some additional films and also some additional interaction with us and other subscribers, please look at our link tree and subscribe to our Patreon page.
Ew. All right. Do you have any final words before we wrap this up?
I was gonna do the Truman.
I ruined it.
Yeah, but it's like, it's over now. I'm not gonna do it now.
I'm
it's
sorry.
over. I can't do it now.
I ruined it for you. My bad.
It is what it is. Jim already did it. You did it. So it's like, all right. There's no other final words.
Next time I'll make sure I'll check with you about the quotes.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. He had to do what he had to do. Oh, this creepy guy. I forgot about this guy who was watching Truman in his bathtub.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't understand what was going on with him. It's like, bro, get out the tub. Like, you could watch it in your living room.
No, the whole thing is that the show is so riveting that he couldn't move. Think about it. He almost died.
Yeah, that's true.
I get it. If we're watching live television and someone almost died, you're not going to get up.
I got to watch this. I got to see this guy die.
No, he wanted him to live. He was rooting for him to live.
That's true. He was holding on to his shower curtain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was. All right, this is doing too much. It's time to go.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time to go. All right, y'all. Later.
Adios.